for today's Professor Sadhana Kamat and Advocate Narendra Kamat Memorial Lecture on Aging and Its Joys by Mrs Neela D'souza. This memorial lecture series was first started by Sadhana Kamat Pachi in memory of her husband, Advocate Narendra Kamat. Post Sadhana Pachi's demise, this memorial lecture series is held in both their memories and is jointly presented by the Saraswat Mahila Samaj Gamdevi, Canara Saraswat Association, and the Kamat family. I now request Ashwini Prashant to take this function forward.
Thank you, Smita Pachi. Hello, everybody. Not everyone is aware that Sadhana Kamat Pachi and a well-known social worker, Kalindi Muzumdar Pachi, jointly judged the essays and the drawings which are published under Kiddies Corner in the KS magazine for several years. Both Sadhana Pachi and Kalindi Pachi knew each other and had the utmost respect for each other. This year, on March 19th, Kalindi Pachi left us all for a heavenly abode. Kalindi Pachi was associated with Nirmala Niketan and she retired as its vice principal. She completed her master's in social work post her children growing up, and as a well-known social worker, touched the hearts of all around her. She was ably supported in her social work by her husband, Suresh Mam, who was legal advisor to the Birlas. Kalindi Pachi was also KSA vice president from 1996 to 1998 and president from 2006 to 2008. As a president of KSA, due to her initiative, every year in March, we celebrate the Chitrapur Saraswat Mahila Din on the occasion of International Women's Day on March 8th. Honor women in our community who have done commendable work in their respective fields. On behalf of KSA, the Saraswat Mahila Samaj Gamdevi, and all of us, I pay our humble tribute to Kalindi Muzumdar Pachi. Om Shanti. Ladies and gentlemen, now, as we start today's function, I request Anuja Mudur to introduce our guest, Mrs Neela D'souza.
Thank you, Ashwini. So good evening, everyone. And it's really such a joy to have Neela D'souza speaking for us at our Sadhana and Narendra Kamat's memorial talk today. And I'm so happy to be introducing dear Neela to you. Well, I've known Neela for almost 30 years now. That was in 1993 when Vibha, my sister, married Dilip, Neela's son. So let me tell you a little about her. Neela was born in the year 1933 in a place called Shengote in Tamil Nadu. With her father having a transferable job, she has moved around a lot and lived in places like Bombay, Shimla, Calcutta, Delhi, and Madras. She graduated in history, standing first at the university, and then went off to the US for a master's at the Syracuse University. She worked briefly for the Times of India before moving to the US. While in the US, she met and married her husband, J.B. D'Souza. Once back in India, Neela worked in advertising while constantly writing on various issues. She wrote middles, short stories, and books for children. Two of those books are Karan and Hanuman and Jatayu. In fact, I remember the time when Vibha had just got engaged to Dilip, and when we heard about Neela D'souza, Harish, Shubha's husband, had instantly recalled having read her middles, the middles written by her. It just shows how widespread her readership was. She even collaborated with her father on an article which spoke about the love of the Tamil people for their language. Those close to her would know how curious she is. Her interests are varied: literature, cinema, dance, opera, birds, and people. And I can vouch for that. Whenever I visit Neela, it's a pleasure to sit and chat with her because she has so much to share and discuss. Classical dance is one of the topics we are both passionate about and love exchanging notes on. And it's not just me. She can engage anyone in interesting conversation and meaningful discussion, right from young children to adults of any age. We also know that she is generous to a fault with her time, her extensive knowledge, and also donates regularly to various causes. So, Neela, we are very glad that you agreed to talk at Amma and Papa's memorial talk this year, and we can't wait to listen to your thoughts on the joys of aging. But before we move on to the talk, Shubha would like to say a few words.
Good evening. There's just one more thing I'd like to add to what Anu has said. Neela has a way with words. Whether she's describing something or narrating an incident, she always uses the right words, and beautiful ones at that. Her language is music to the ears. So I look forward to her talk on the joys of aging. Neela, may I request you to start?
She's on mute. Neela, you're on mute.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So I thanked all of you and for coming here to listen to me. And well, I hope it's useful and pleasurable in some ways. I wanted to talk about briefly about Narendra and Sadhana and the date and time that we met. They came over to our place to talk to us as Dilip and Vibha had decided to get married, and we parents had to get to know each other, even if briefly. So they came over, and this is a relationship which is defined as co-parents. And co-parents, if you put it together, COPS, means cops. So this business of being cops was a bit unnerving. I don't think we ever have any need to use that. Anyway, there was much laughter at that meeting. I'm not quite sure exactly what we spoke about it, but it was all very pleasurable. And then, and now I realize that of that quartet, I'm the only person around. So it's sad because I would have greatly liked to have both Narendra and Sadhana with us this evening. Now, this business of aging gracefully or graciously, this aging is a strange word. We talk about wine as aged. It's not aging. It's the aging has fulfilled some sort of a thing, and so the wine is aged. But this aging seems to be carrying on. And before you think of aging, you really have to think of growing up. And growing up through so many years. In transit, you have your teenage, then you come to 17, sweet 17, and it leads on to 18, and when you begin to drive and you can vote and so on. And then, it carries on through 25, 50, but somehow after 50, when you are now grown old, perhaps, there is no more landmarks. So this thing was intriguing, because all the time that you're growing up and growing old, you're leading on to old age. And old age carries on. You get older, but you never get to a time when you are oldest. That's something else. So you get older and older. And I've thought about this and I was really intrigued. So now when you come to the business of aging, exactly what does it mean? Does it mean accumulation of all that you have lived through and experienced, and in the years that you have been growing old and coming to the aging aspect? Well, I leave you to ponder over that. Now, I am 89 and and I'll be getting older, but I'm also aging. It's I never really could resolve this puzzle. Perhaps time you could answer and tell me, or write to me and tell me about that. Anyway, for me, realization about growing old started one morning in front of a I suffer from what's called temporary amnesia, when I can not find the word that I want. So you'll have to bear with me when I halt. It's a bit funny because I feel like laughing. So if you feel like laughing, please do so. Anyway, so here was I looking at a travel poster of Greece, which I had long wanted to see. And I had with me my 6-year-old, and I turned to him and I said, when you grow up, will you take me to Greece? And the said 6-year-old looked at me and said very definitely, when I grow up, I said, when you grow up, will you take me? So he said, when I grow up, you will be dead. And the dead was very emphatic. Well, the said 6-year-old is now 60, and I have been to Greece, and all has been well. So this is a little emphasis on words. Because I suddenly realized, while I was thinking about aging, is that all of us have grown up, grown old, grown older, and finally suddenly we are sort of put together and has said aging. So I thought we should examine this word aging. If it's the result of the years that you have grown old and older, this is an accumulation of experience of things that you have done, of things that have happened to you, of traveling. There's a whole range of things that has gone into this time when you are aging. I hardly think of myself as an aging or aged woman. seems I'm just like what I was when there was that threat that I would die before my 6-year-old could get me to, or not get me to peace. So then what is this aging? And I thought about that a lot, and I thought maybe it's I could tell you some things about this. Now, when you have all this experience and maybe some wisdom, you have knowledge, but also hopefully some wisdom from all that you have experienced and learned. And at this time of life, you learn to be a little careful of what you do. And you suddenly want to interrupt and talk when somebody else is talking, which isn't a very desirable thing. Then these are things that I think one should now avoid. You want to, there is this fatal habit of wanting to say something on every subject, whether you know it or not, but you want to add your little 2 bits, something that one should avoid at all costs. And then there are things like you want also to add to, just a minute, let me just check up on what I. Yes, this is desire to straighten and straighten out other people's lives. Like you say, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? And also to be avoided. Let everybody figure out what they have to do. And just because you are at this age doesn't mean that you know everything or that they should listen to you. So this is a thing that I find I'm constantly telling myself. You can be helpful, you can be, but you shouldn't be bossy. And the other thing is also you feel like meddling in the way the younger people are bringing up their children. You think of your times, forgetting that your times are long gone and nothing is the same as it used to be. So periodically, I myself find something to say, and I said, but you know, this is what we did, or I did that. No one does what you did anymore. Everybody is different. And now also with this growing technology, one is left far behind. I certainly don't know even the vocabulary that is being used now. And I'm constantly in a maze of chargers and plugs and things to put into your ear and removing them and trying to fix them here and there. And I wish I didn't have to do that. I wish one could do without them. But unfortunately, no. This is, as my granddaughter tells me this is the digital age. I'm not even sure I know what means. But then I read about AI and other similar words, which at the moment I can't remember. And they're intriguing, but for me, they're a bit frightening because things seem to be getting out of the grasp of people and being taken over by technology. And I'm not sure, I'm not savvy enough to understand exactly what that means, but I can tell you that it is alarming. So the joys of aging are all our memories, and the memories stay with one because even people don't have time for you to tell them about yourself or some sort of a thing that happened, and they're all too busy looking at their cell phones or their mobiles or various other things, but I don't even know what they're called. There's something called a GIF, and then nobody wants to write letters anymore. People don't even know that there are stamps and post office, and writing letters is forgotten pleasure, forgotten. I used to enjoy writing letters, but not anymore. In fact, it's difficult even to write now because you have seldom reason to be writing. It's all on your computer, and even that is difficult, and I'm not at all skillful with that. So these are the hazards for me. The joys of what I have of the years gone by, and I'm, there is this, there is still aging going on, and when does it come to an end? We become aged, but then what is there after that? These are, they sound strange to you. There's a difference, a huge difference in their age, but it's something that intrigues me, and I wondered about this. So this may not be a useful talk, but it's a frank, not explanation, but of the experience of growing old and living in this time that's changing so rapidly. I belong to the age when we used to run out to look at an aeroplane, and these are no longer fascinating things. Everything we go out to look at the passing astronauts in some what is it called? Some sort of a device that's floating in the sky, and then you're quite enthralled because science has spread so far, and it's daunting to think that we will be perhaps living on the moon at some time. And I wonder what, since I won't be there, what it would be like. So I don't know if aging is in itself joyful or not, because it is if you have lived a life that gave you pleasure, or that gave you a lot of memories that you cherish and go over in your mind, then I think it is a time that's very rewarding. It's rewarding because you're reflecting, you suddenly remember something else. You can't always share these because the lack of time among the youngsters these days, but that's how it goes. So I carry on. I sit by the side of the balcony and look at the changing world outside, and there's really time now for me to sit and stare and enjoy the birds that come and look for them every day and delight that I have seen them. And these are the simple joys of life, which I hope all of you will have and find time in your big busy schedules, find time for them. So thank you all for listening to me, and I hope you have got whatever you thought you might get from this talk. Thank you all.
Thank you, Neela Pachi, for a wonderful speech. Now the session is open to all the audience who have joined us on Zoom. If you have anything to say or any questions to ask, please do so.
May I ask a question?
Yes, certainly.
Neela, this is Kamla here. Kamla Ganesh. I want to know from you the secrets of living up to your age in a reasonably healthy manner and also with a lot of dignity and poise. So you must be having some sort of formula in your routine that makes you healthy and well balanced old person. So could you share some of your tips for that? I've seen you walking by on bandstand without a stick, just by yourself, looking at the road so that you don't look here and there. I often see you, but you're not looking at me because you're watching the steps as you walk, and not to fall and not to get hurt. So you must be having a handful of things that you do, which make you function the way you are. So that's what I want to know.
Kamla, I wish I could give you my daily walk is very important. So I get up every morning and take off, and that morning walk is what really makes my day, gives some sort of buoyancy to the day. And now, since I have to be careful, I've fallen many times and hurt my back and so on. So I walk, and I walk steadily, and I'm walking steadily and thinking in a straight line. I'm not looking at this thing because I'm looking at the straight line. So I have to choose places to walk where I know I'm safe enough and hopefully will not fall. So that's a daily walk is a wonderful thing. I have a routine of exercises at home and do some Tai Chi from time to time. And this is not, I'm a vegetarian, the only vegetarian in the families, but and have been so of choice for the last 30 and more years. And for me, becoming a vegetarian has been really done something to me. It sort of clarified my brain, and I don't have longings for this and that.
By on bandstand without a stick, just by yourself, looking at the road so that you don't look here and there. I often see you, but you're not looking at me because you're watching the steps as you walk, not to fall and not to get hurt. So you must be having a handful of things that you do, which make you function the way you are. So that's what I want to know.
Why did that repeat?
Kamla, I wish I could give you
How do
my daily walk is very important. So I get up every morning and take off. And that morning walk is what really makes my day, gives some sort of buoyancy to the day. And now, since I have to be careful, I've fallen many times and hurt my back and so on. So I walk steadily, and I'm walking steadily and thinking in a straight line. I'm not looking at this thing. So I'm looking at the straight line. So I have to choose places to walk where I know I'm safe enough and hopefully will not fall. So that's a daily walk is a wonderful thing. I have a routine of exercises at home and do some Tai Chi from time to time. And
okay. Are we back to?
This is not.
What happened?
Okay, see if you can talk now.
Yes. Kamla, was that sufficient of an answer? Okay.
No, we can't hear you, Kamla.
Okay, I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but a little bit about your food and diet. Just a little bit.
The food, I told you I'm a vegetarian and eat whatever is made at home, except for the occasional egg. There's no meat, fish, chicken, nothing. But I don't sort of recommend that to everyone. It suits me.
I think we have a few other more questions for Neela. Sahir is waiting to ask a question, and Gaurav also.
Okay.
Sahir, you want to go next?
Yes, I will go next. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, hi Neelama. It is nice to see everyone after so long. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can't, at least I can't see you.
I can see me, so I'm
Okay.
right at the top there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of times we are told, you must have something that excites you in life, that makes you passionate, that makes you want to wake up in the morning. But when you have lived so long, Neelama, as you have, almost 90 years, and you have experienced so much, and you have seen so much, and met so many people, what is it that excites you now when you wake up in the morning? What makes you want to get out of bed?
Well, I must tell you that even looking at the barbet every morning gives me joy. And if I see a barbet in the morning, I know that my day is going to be good. So that is exciting. I don't think one needs some, I rush to them, drag your poor father or mother along and show them that the barbet has come or this other bird has come. These are the simple things. I did say somewhere that there is time to sit, stand, and stare. So you don't have to be doing anything. It's just the pleasure of life and watching the trees. I've watched go by. I'm amused by the cats, and then they follow in a little stream. Feeds them, and I look forward to seeing this every day.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not advocating this for others, but for me it works.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, always nice to have something to look forward to, Neela. I think that's a great point. And yeah, I think Gaurav had a question.
Hi, Neelama. Hope you're doing well.
Gaurav.
Yeah, hi, Neelama. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Neela aunty, I had a question I wanted to ask you. You've seen an entire India right from its birth, from from the independence and the passing years to which we are now. Do you have some sense of nostalgia, or do you sometimes feel nostalgic about the good old days, or how does it? How do you feel India is now at this stage from your point of view?
Well, I think this switching over to digital things and all these what do you call it? These mechanical things, they frighten me. And somehow I think that people now enjoy talking to each other, maybe even from one room to the next room on their cell phones or their mobiles or whatever. The online stuff that goes on, like this, at least here we can talk and so on and this. But I think we need more human companionship. Now, you can say people, well, I also look at the films or things like that. But I'd much rather sit and talk to somebody or just spend an evening with someone. That gives me great pleasure. And that is slowly diminishing. Not everybody has time to come and sit with a 89-year-old and pass the time with her. So that's what I wanted to tell you, Gaurav.
Neela, he
Thanks,
wants to think of India. Are you nostalgic for an earlier India, for the time you grew up in? Or that,
You hear that? He's asking, are you nostalgic for an earlier India? That is what Gaurav was asking.
Well, nostalgic, yes, for but it's nostalgic. I'm not very sure I can answer that, because that is the time that is gone. And you can't relive that. But you have your memories. You've got all sorts of memories and little jokes and some little things that you want to tell other people, and they look at you wondering, what on earth is this? This doesn't seem particularly exciting, but it was exciting for me at that time. So, but these things now one has to keep to oneself.
Gaurav, may I please step in and tell you a little bit about, answer that question? I think, as Neela says, for nostalgia, yes, maybe she harks back to a time which was less mechanical or less digital. But her great, what I most admire is her curiosity, and that she's curious about everything. And so, yes, she carries a certain nostalgia, but there is a curiosity for the here and the now and the today. So she did a computer course long before it was fashionable or anything, and stood first in that class in the exam. And sending emails to her friends and corresponding with them, even though right now she said she missed writing letters, she didn't totally give up on them. She continued corresponding through email. And again, she uses the digital media to keep up with her interests like opera or movies. And so I think that is how she sees nostalgia. She's very interested in the political scene right now, and she's always actively reading the newspapers every day. But nostalgia is something that is just another thing that is part of you. It doesn't consume.
For curiosity, yes, because one I have always been like that. And I think my father used to tell us something, you should be like as if you've been set on fire. That means you taken everything and don't put out the fire, but don't get burnt. So it's in Tamil, this is a lovely phrase, like as if you're on fire. So I hope I don't don't appear like that to you.
I have a question for you, Neela. Was there or is there something that you couldn't do as a younger woman, managing a career, your writing, or taking care of the family, bringing up your children? Something that you have to either give up or put on hold or on the back burner, which you now think you have time, which you now appreciate. But the time that you have, you use it for that pursuit.
No, actually, I would. There are lots of places I would have liked to see, and now, for instance, I've always wanted to go to and see the Northern Lights, and even now I think I wonder if I could go there. But then you have to go there in winter, and you need all those clothes, and it'd be a drag on the people who might offer to come with me. So this is one of those things, you wish you could have done that, but you haven't done that, and that's quite all right. So I don't brood over these things.
Hi, Neela.
Hi.
This is Meher
Hi, Meher.
from Chennai. Now from Chennai.
How are you?
And
Good.
it's such a pleasure. You just made my day. As does the coil in the morning when I drink my first cup of tea. And yes, I identify a lot with what you say. And as you said, I would have loved it if Mama and Papa could have been here to join us for this talk. And I miss them sorely. And yes, so those are the emotions that are going through me. And yes, it's wonderful. And you're right about, this laptop. I don't know, I don't have the faintest clue as to how to switch on the laptop. And I do a lot of stuff on my mobile. But since we've come to Chennai, we haven't, I have no questions for you because I feel your energy. And I miss this human contact sorely myself, because ever since we've left Bombay and come to Chennai, we've made precisely 3 friends, our upstairs neighbors and Tad, who's gone away to Bangalore. And so even the neighbors who live on the same landing don't come to talk to us. So I literally land up staring at my ceiling and bothering people on the phone. So yeah, so that has been my experience. I really miss the human contact, the human touch.
But
Good to hear. Yeah. Go ahead, Neela.
It's not just making friends who'll come over and talk to you and all that. You're walking on the road and you smile at someone, and after 3 or 4 days of smiling, you say hello to this person. Sometimes the person is startled, but otherwise they reply, and you just know that there is somebody who's responded to you. And then I make friends with all the people who work on the streets, collect the garbage and lift it up and so on. And I know them by name. So every morning when I pass, I say hi, Sunita, or whatever her name is. And it's just nice because there's another human being, and that's good. If that also makes my day, I look forward to seeing them.
I think Karthik has a question.
Who's Karthik?
Not question, but I was offering to go with you to see the Northern Lights.
Okay.
Is this my nephew?
Yes, it is your nephew.
Yeah. Yes, Karthik, I couldn't believe it was you.
It is me.
Yeah,
What else?
what's your question?
No, there was no question. I was just saying that I'm happy to go with you to see the Northern Lights.
He's happy to go with you to see the Northern Lights.
I may take you up on that. We'll set a date for it, Karthik.
Absolutely.
Thanks. I think that's it. Nobody else wants to ask questions.
Is there anything on Wiki? Is anyone looking at that?
Yeah, Mahesh Nileshwar has raised his hand.
Yes, go ahead. Mahesh.
Good morning, Neela ji, and good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not well, so I won't switch on my camera, and I sound weird again because I lost my voice for the last 3 days, but I wanted to be part of this presentation, which was lovely. I'm coming live from Canada, Toronto. So, Neela ji, it was very nice listening to you. Yes, nowadays there's very less interaction amongst humans due to the onslaught of technology. Technology was supposed to be a complement, not to be part of our life. The only thing I was gonna suggest or talk about when you mentioned about memories, I think the memories are very important, and you know, science has already said if you think about memories, your Alzheimer's or dementia slows down. Just an example is like listening to old music, Bollywood music. When you listen to old Bollywood music, it would take you back many years. It would remind you of your childhood. You know, so one of the things I suggest to everyone is to do something, think about olden days. You know, I work with a number of seniors here, and they can't remember what breakfast they had in the morning. But if you ask them, which university did you go to, or you know, do you remember Joanna from 1965? They would tell the whole life story. So it's very important for us to go back, look at photos, family pictures, try to remember who the kids are, who the grandkids are. That way, keep our memories fresh. Just a thought. But thank you for your presentation. It was very educative.
Lovely thoughts, Mahesh Mom. And I think Kiran has a hand up.
Kiran.
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Kiran.
Kiran, oh. Yeah, Kiran.
You're on mute. We can't hear you.
I can see you, but there's...
Unmuted. Yeah. Am I now unmuted?
Yes.
So I might still sound like I'm muted because the voice is an issue. But Neela, you know, I remember having Neela sit on my scooter and her hair flying in the air and her pallu flying in the air, and both of us zipping on the streets of South Delhi. And, you know, I don't think she looks much older. So I'm going to come and ask her for the secret of her fountain of youth, which has a lot to do with her mind as well. But it's delightful to see you because I have friends, especially a very, very, very close friend who went into dementia almost 15 years ago. She's still alive, but she doesn't remember or do anything. And it's heartbreaking to see the way she is. So as a compensation, it's really invigorating, and I'm grateful to see how Neela is in great shape and doesn't look just a tad older than when she was flying on my scooter. Thank you for being there all these years, whether we've touched base or not. But I will not send you a WhatsApp message. I will personally come. And I've done that with Vibha and Dilip. Bought food for them and come to your home and had a pint of beer and chatted. I'll do that very soon. Down with internet to some extent.
And watch out for your throat and the vocal cords, please.
Whenever it gets better.
I wish I was there to look at both of you in Delhi zooming along the streets. Missed it.
I had a red helmet and I would be in a sari, and Neela would be sitting behind me, quite unsure because, you know, her husband was a fairly big shot and She had cars and everything, but I don't know why she would plonk herself on this scooter behind me and we'd go flying through this thing. I'm sure as an image, it is quite interesting for most of you who know Neela to try and visualize.
It's easy. It's easy.
Kiran and I were taught in the same college, and we met in the library when I was taking a book which she also wanted, but I got there first. So I said, okay, you can have it as soon as I finish it. And then she said something about she's going home and would you like a ride? I said, yes. And so sat in the back of a scooter. And so that was the beginning of this great association.
Yes, I feel nostalgic. I'm not there to answer your questions, but I definitely in the last quarter of my life now, reflect back on what we went and how we lived. And I think I'm glad that I was of a generation that, like you, which sort of transcended a huge gap from going to grandparents' home in a village where there was no electricity to, attending a graduation for my son in Colombia and whatnot. So I think we were a great, very interesting generation that really traversed a very long journey, which the youngsters today haven't got the experience of. I think we appreciate everything, the past as well as what is now, because of that expanse of experience.
A lot to think about. Thanks, Kiran.
And be grateful for.
Questions or even comments? Someone say something? Might have triggered on.
Vibha, you're not very clear. Come closer.
I'm saying, are there any other questions or maybe?
Yeah, Jennifer has raised her hand.
Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer.
Go ahead.
Where's Jennifer?
Jennifer.
You're on mute.
Unmute yourself.
Jennifer.
Still on mute, Jennifer.
Now, okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
I knew Neela vaguely as another person from Bandra, but when I really got to know her was when the Carter Road Promenade was, paved properly. The Bandra Residents Association gave us residents an option of 3 months free yoga class, Tai Chi or Taekwondo. And so I got up the next morning and I was heading for the yoga class when I saw Neela and another friend of mine, Asha, in the Tai Chi class. So I said, oh, I better join this one because then I won't drop out. I have friends who are in the same class. And for me, Tai Chi has been a life-altering experience because it's an exercise almost designed for senior citizens. The movements are so gentle. You bend your knee and only as much as is comfortable for you. And so I do Tai Chi now. And I'll tell you one very funny story. My son got married to a Chinese American and I went to San Francisco.
She's frozen.
Jennifer, you're frozen. Technology, Neela?
Yeah.
Mother, they played Mahi Ve, and I started doing Tai Chi, this Tai Chi pose, Mahi Ve, and everybody clapped, and I went back to my seat, and everyone thought I'd done Indian dancing. But my son's mother-in-law, who's Chinese, she said, Jennifer, you pull the wool over everyone. But I'm a Chinese and I do Tai Chi, and all you were doing was Tai Chi on the floor. So I have to thank Neela that I still do my Tai Chi every day, and it's an amazing form of exercise for senior citizens. I suggest it to others, who it keeps your joints, and it's the only exercise which not only controls the muscles, but the energy flow through your body. So you keep quite active. I think I've said enough.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you.
Time has come.
They'll end up. They'll take up the season. Any more?
No more questions? Well, then I think it's time we wound up, closed up. Thank you all.
They will let me.
Pardon?
They will.
Maybe like to call Ashwini in and
Yeah. Thank you, Vibha. I remember one instance when one of my colleagues pointed out to a white strand on somebody else's crowning glory. That was a, oh my God moment for all of us. But today, after listening to Neela Pachi's beautiful talk on aging, its joys, I realized how wrong we were at that time. Truly, we should all age very gracefully. After all, we live every day and die but once, correct? And obviously, I'm sure that we all look forward to following Neela Pachi's mantra of looking for small joys around us. I'm sure we are also going to look forward and to enjoy this beautiful phase of life and not only visit Greece, but also other places around the world with our grandchildren. Neela Pachi, thank you so much for taking up this unique subject for today's talk. We all really enjoyed it. We are also grateful to the Kamat sisters, as we lovingly call them, Shubha, Vibha, and Anuja, for arranging and conducting today's session. Thank you to Smita Mavinkurve Pachi for your warm welcome and introduction of the memorial lecture. A big thank you to Rajan Kalyanpur Ma'am for his support in holding today's online function. We are also very grateful to Rupali Kapnadak Sawant for designing such a beautiful flyer on this occasion. This truly helped us to circulate to everybody and invite to come for this online function today. Thanks to our back office staff, Shobana Rao and Swati Nadkani, for all the background support they give us. A big thanks to Canada Saraswat Association and the Saraswat Mahila Samaj Kamdevi for jointly holding this memorial lecture. And of course, now our lovely audience. Thank you so much for coming, joining us online, for making it so interactive and asking such beautiful questions to Neela Pachi. We look forward to your support also in the future for our forthcoming programs. Thank you all so much and have a great day. Yeah, Vibha.
I just have one thing to say. I'd like to thank the Canada Saraswat and the Mahila Samaj for always being there for us. Of course, our parents are no longer there, but somehow the presence seems to be that much more vital and vivid when we are in the company of the people who run these two organizations. I always feel a warmth and a sense of comfort when I go to the Mahila Samaj or to the Canada Saraswat Association. She thanked us for having conducted this program. We did really nothing. It was Ashwini who managed it seamlessly and with great effort. So thank you very, very much, all of you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for joining in.
Okay, that's
Bye.